Welcome everybody back to the kitchen table product review segment. I'm Derek Sabori. I'm your host. I'm here at the kitchen table and we've got some products that we are going to review. And as we do here at the kitchen table, my goal is to review products that have a more sustainable footprint, that are better options out in the marketplace, or that at least aspire to be better options, and that also aspire to be made with in a more sustainable manner, with more sustainable materials. So much going on right now that it's just fun to share these things with you guys. And a lot of times people with sustainability, they get stuck saying, hey, where do I start? And my hope is that we don't give up the things that we love to do, using our computers. For me, surfing and snowboarding and doing fun things. Let's find products that still convey that message of sustainability and support brands and companies and entrepreneurs that are doing things in a different way, trying to move us forward into a new economy, one where we're using renewable resources, sustainable materials, and where we're just manufacturing in a better way. So here we are, and today I'm going to look at a little package that I got from Pushfins. And one of the things that I think will be fun to do, I'm going to set this aside. I've got my computer here just for my notes if I need them, because as you know, same with the Underswell podcast, we don't do a lot of, I'm not able to do a lot of preparation. I just dive right in, I read through my notes right as we're going, and just sort of free form these things here to keep them going so they can get them out here. So let's start with the packaging. Friends at Pushfins sent us a nice little package, simple cardboard box, nothing too fancy, a little sticker on it. And when we open it, what I like, if you can see, got a nice little personal note. Thanks, Derek. Stoked to hear how these go for you. So I will say, Pushfins reached out to me and to Underswell, and they asked if we could do a little product review, feature these on the show. So we're not going to surf with them today. No waves out front at my place, but we are going to talk about them, talk about how they're made, have a look, compare them to some regular fins. I like the packaging, guys. Can appreciate that. Reusing just old magazines for packaging, and it looks like a old, maybe an old catalog, Staples catalog or Office Depot catalog. But nice work on the packaging, guys. No plastic, no waste. So that's for the packaging. As for the fins, we got a nice little sticker, Pushfins. And the story with Pushfins, I think is cool. You can find them at pushfins.com. These are fins that are made mostly from recycled skateboards. So I'm gonna put my glasses on here. So here they are. And we'll have a look and we'll compare them to a conventional fin. These fins are what are called the FCS models, the FCS base. There's a couple base systems that kind of take over the marketplace, or have taken over the marketplace in the last few years. Really just two major ones, FCS and Futures. So this is the Futures base that we use, and that's what I use in most of my surfboards. Most of my surfboards, in fact all of them that I'm riding right now, are what are called eco boards. So those are boards that have been certified by a third party, by Sustainable Surf. They've got a great program where they work with the surfboard shapers and make sure, and the glassers, and make sure that they are, and certify that they're using more sustainable materials. Recycled materials, low VOC materials, epoxy resins that might have a bio base in them. And that's actually the epoxy resin that Pushfins is using. So if we go to their website, pushfins.com, they've got, it's nice, it says performance and sustainability. You can shop now. But most of their core, as you'll see, is made from recycled skateboards. So they've got what's called these RTM fins, and we're going to go to the technology section of their website, Tech and Materials. All their fin cores are made from 100% pre-consumer North American maple plywood from the skateboard manufacturing industry. So pre-consumer means that these are decks that didn't make it out into the marketplace yet, came mostly from the manufacturing stages. For example, the skateboard tiles that are in the back here that you see, that's post-consumer. So that is after the consumer has used it, went to recycling, they took it back, reclaimed it, put it back into the system, and made new products out of it. This is made from pre-consumer. The waste consists of blemished maple veneers such that have knots, that might have some cracking or heavy grain. So instead of this making its way into the landfill, it's making its way into the into new fins. So What makes these best or good? So they also use scrap fiberglass cloth. So there's fiberglass in here to wrap it and to add strength. They partner with surfboard glassing shops to source their high quality fiberglass waste that's on its way to the dumpster. So this is a great way to make sure that we're using recycled content, because that's usually how recycled is actually classified, is materials that would have otherwise ended up in the dumpster. So if scraps are commonly used and just put back into the process, then that is not necessarily recycling, and that might be what we call greenwashing. But in this case, those fiberglass scraps are definitely going to make their way into the trash. So they say that this waste is generated when cloth, which comes in rolls, imagine like a big fabric roll. It's a weave of fiberglass fabric. It's trimmed to fit the parabolic shape of the surfboard prior to laminating. They laminate it and glass it on with resins. They take those scraps, put them into the fins, and then they're using entropy resins. And we have talked about entropy resins here before in the product reviews. Entropy resins, it's a bio-epoxy. Yikes! It's a bio-epoxy, zero VOC, so zero volatile organic compound, plant-based epoxy resin. And that's actually what's used in all the surfboards that I'm riding. That's one of the materials that definitely gets an EcoBoard certification. You can learn more about them at entropyresins.com. This is what's called an RTM resin transfer molding fin. So they say it's a composite manufacturing process that's borrowed from the aerospace industry. It allows them to consistently create fins with the highest strength to weight ratio, along with minimizing their own manufacturing waste. So these feel great. Let's see, the labeling on it says 90% recycled material by volume. They've got the area, the specs, the base, the cant, the foil, the rake, and those are all the different features of a fin. And this is definitely not necessarily a surfboard or a surf review, because I'm not necessarily an expert on what makes a good fin. I'm learning. I've learned to switch out my fins and try new fins for sure, but we'll leave that for some of the surf reviewers here. But I know that there are different components of a fin. You know, the way it's curved on the inside, the curve here, the depth, the width, everything really makes a difference on how the fin rides. But these are made in Oregon, so high performance, low impact fins made in Oregon. And the materials are skateboard decks, manufacturing waste, fiberglass cloth, surfboard manufacturing waste, and entropy bio-epoxy resin. And the construction, they say, is a waste tech RTM. And what I like what Pushfins is doing here, because they're doing a lot to educate the consumer. You can look at these, and what I love, to me, this is what makes a great sustainable product. These are beautiful looking. They've got a great look. They're lightweight, and if I compare them to kind of what's a high performance standard here, a Futures fin that I'm currently riding. This one may or may not have as many sustainability features, but you can compare it. The look is the same, the feel is the same, and the weight feels the same. How they ride will yet to be determined, but I have no reservations that these are going to ride just great, and I'm going to put them on my board, and they're going to be fantastic. So great job to the guys at Pushfins. Again, when we can have products that look and feel the same, sometimes even look better. I mean, the aesthetic that you get here with the skateboard deck in there and the reused wood is beautiful. But when we can get products that look and feel the same, cost the same, and have these great sustainability features, recycling materials in there, then that I'm a fan of. So check them out. Made in Oregon, USA. They've got multiple fins to offer. They do glass-on fins as well. So these are the fins that you lock in and you screw them into your surfboard. You have other ones that can be made into the surfboard. And these twins and keels they've got on offer. Some really beautiful wood grain fins with that epoxy, the entropy epoxy resin. So I'd urge you to check them out. Pushfins.com. Great sustainability story. Really happy to see a really good movement going on in the surf community, whether it's with fins, surfboards. There's some really cool deck pads and just some really innovative materials that are going on. So what used to look like this, which was just all basically a plastic, if you will, we're starting to move towards some composite materials like this. to having something that has a nice sustainability story inside. And I like to think of sustainability as being sort of like that old Intel commercial. So it's on the inside. It's what's, it's powered by. So when things are powered by sustainability and have a great feature and some really neat talking points, then I think we're doing a good job. You put these on your board and you've got something that you can tell your friends, hey, I've got an eco surfboard, eco certified surfboard that's made with push fins from skateboard and surfboard scraps. And we're starting to close the loop, if you will, in the surfboard industry, taking our waste, putting it back into new materials and new products and reusing those. The only thing I don't see here on the website, which I would hope for, is that eventually when I'm done with these fins, if I can send them back to Pushfins and they can make new fins out of them, that would be ideal. That would be closing the loop on the manufacturing process. That's a closed loop economy. Closed loop manufacturing is sort of the holy grail to me in sustainability. So that'd be the next thing to look out for. So Pushfins, thanks for the fins. I'm going to use them, put them in the board, and maybe we'll do a little surf review and see how they go. But I don't have any doubts that these are going to ride just as well as my traditional Futures fins that I'm using right now. So check out Pushfins. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you at the next kitchen table product review. Hey guys, if you had any interest in that product review that we just did with Pushfins, be sure to check back on the Underswell website. Check out the podcast. We're going to do a podcast with the guys at Pushfins, the founder, and hear about the story of how the brand came about, what it took to build it, what some of the struggles are, and we'll talk about a little bit about the business side. So head over to the podcast, the Underswell, or check back on the website and the blog, because there's more to this story than just a look at the physical product.